couple of things that I like. So I'm a violinist. I'm a violinist from the age of 5. I haven't practiced extensively for probably, at this point, 6 or 7 years, which is really unfortunate. When I was a kid, I thought I was going to go to Peabody School of Music at Johns Hopkins, and I studied with one of the top 10 violin teachers in the world. I was actually a world-class violinist at one point. I decided you have to make a commitment at a certain point as a kid. If you really want to be world class, like soloing with orchestras world class, you have to practice 6, 7, 8 hours a day, and you have to give pretty much everything else up. And I decided I didn't want to do that. I was only practicing like 3 hours a day, and that wasn't enough to make it happen. And so it's a fun hobby for me. But I do love the violin repertoire. And if you've never heard the Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, it's a wonderful piece, and you should check that out. My favorite violin concerto, probably. And there's so many great pieces in the violin repertoire that are fun to play and fun to listen to. The Brahms Violin Concerto is terrific. There's a showpiece called Preludium and Allegro by Fritz Kreisler that's a lot of fun. And I thought that since my birthday is tomorrow, we may as well celebrate with a 20-year-old piece of video. So 20 years ago, I was 12. And I was playing at the Israeli Bonds Banquet. So I know that a lot of people have seen this already. It has probably 50,000 hits on YouTube or something. But if you haven't seen it, here's a small piece of me playing violin when I was but a lad. And not much has changed. I basically have that amount of fat on my cheeks still. But here is me when I was 12 years old playing some violin. I was a cutie, and and look what all that talent has brought me to. Balloons on my desk. So so Schindler's List. It was actually introduced by Larry King, and it was weird because I was interviewed by Larry King like 2 years ago, and I brought this tape up to him. He did not, of course, remember it, but he introduced me in this piece beforehand by saying that at the time I wanted to be on the Supreme Court of the United States, and so the Supreme Court would have to close early on Fridays. So there are some things that I like. Not necessarily me playing violin. It's hard to watch yourself, because you realize where you're making all the mistakes. But it's fun anyway. Okay, some things that I